Hey there, welcome to Weekend Workshop. I'm a writer for Ransom, and today we are wiring a helmet. Alright, so to do this build, you're going to need a couple of things. First up, an action camera. I've got a GoPro Hero 8, but it doesn't really matter which camera you're using as long as you can get a 3.5mm input. For me, that means using an adapter, and I'm going to use the GoPro Media mod to take care of that. Then you're going to need a helmet communicator. I've got a Cardo PackTalk Bold. I love this unit because it has a female 3.5mm output for audio delivery, which is going to make the wiring job for this really easy. To take advantage of that, we're going to need a headphone splitter. Any will do. I've got this one, and I also have a brick block type that I might be using instead. Not sure yet. Next, you're going to need an aux cord. Of course, any aux cord will do as long as it's a 3.5mm. However, I do recommend getting one that's on the short side. Probably 1.5 to 2 feet would be best, although I used a 3-foot one for this build. This is probably the most important piece of this build. It is not another headphone splitter. Instead, it is a 3.5mm TRS to TF stereo breakout cable. What it will do for us is take the microphone input from one side and the Cardo output in the other and take them both and put them into the GoPro for us to use later. As for recording my voice, or your voice, you're gonna need to get some kind of a lavalier microphone. I highly recommend the purple Panda. That's what I'm using here, notable for its nice fluffy dead cat that blocks noise out. Securing all of that inside the helmet is going to take some kind of tape. I used Gaff tape for this. I've used electrical tape in the past, but electrical tape gets really gummy when you get sweaty in the triple digit heat range. So Gaff tape it is. This is 1/2-inch Gaff tape. Again, I'll be linking in the description. Comes in multiple colors because we are going to be taping on the outside of the helmet. So hopefully you can find something to match that won't look too garish. So the main thing to start with is wiring or hooking up all of the wires I'm going to have before getting those routed properly inside of the helmet. I can use a Gaff tape to hold that up. There you go. Hey, that's pretty sweet. So, purple Panda, whoops, yep, click. All right, and then there is the Panda or general like record my voice section is now wired up. Now comes these things. We're adding a whole lot of extra cable, and I'm not exactly thrilled about that. So now I would have a decision to make. Do I use this, the headphone splitter cable, or do I just use this little headphone splitter dongle type thing? And that's actually not the easiest choice. If I did this, I could tape it onto the back of my helmet like that. I could tape this on here. It'd be kind of ugly, but I could do it. Then comes the aux cord. Now, like I said with the aux cord, there's a lot more cable than I want. This is 4 feet of cable. If you're doing something like this, just get the shortest aux cord you can find, for real. Like, geez, look at that. It's way too much cable. All right, but anyway, we're gonna make it work. So, aux cord acts as an input here, Now the headphone splitter is actually pretty much two-way. So you're just gonna plug the Cardo's earphones into one side, and then you are going to plug the aux cord into the other side, and that actually completes the circuit. If I record this from my GoPro right now, I will get any audio from me talking as well as anybody talking on the headset or whatever. Before I add this, I need to route this back out the way that I had it before, which is more or less like this. It's actually not really bad right now. I just need to put a little piece of tape so that it'll be sticking out of the helmet after I put the innards back in. So gaff tape time. All right, there we go. And now this cable is kind of out of the way so that it's not going to get in the way. Hopefully you can see this. For the buttons to add the cushion back in for the helmet, I don't want this cable in the way, so I just taped it right here so that it will go right in between them and then stick outside of the helmet. Now, the way I had this up until recently would of course been to just plug that in and then kind of tuck this back in here. But now we have to add our good friend splitter into the mix. So there's the splitter, and there's that. Now, actually, I might need to give myself a little bit more slack on the cable, so I need to undo this tape a little bit. And I want the minimum amount of usable slack to get this to work. That looks pretty good, so I'm actually going to go ahead and stick that there. And the cable still stays out of the way. It does have the problem at the moment of not being super stuck, but I'm gonna go with the idea of taping this to my helmet. It won't be pretty, but it'll be functional. What I need to do is go ahead and tape the splitter down and then add that. All right, next up, aux cord. So let's get that figured out. Problem with the aux cord, as stated multiple times, it's too long. Plug it into the back here. And honestly, I think the thing to do is to try to run it right into the helmet and then use up as much of that as I can. So I'm gonna tape the aux cord down just like I taped down. Actually, you know what I should do? My brother has a really flat aux cord in his car. I should trade him. So I'm gonna go do that. I'll be right back. I'm back. So, gonna use this aux cord. Cheap aux cord, but it has the benefit of being flat and therefore easier to route through the helmet. And it should work just fine unless this cable is somehow sneakily broken, in which case I'm gonna have to unwire this whole thing. I don't think that'll be a problem. Now, the problem is, what the heck do I do with the rest of it? All right, there's channels in there, right? So I'm going to try to lay as much of the cable in those channels as possible. Obviously, that's not what they're for, but because this is flat, it's not gonna take up much space and it won't be noticeable at all. There we go. The aux cord has been wired, and it only took me however long that took. Next on the list of things to do, purple Panda wiring. Now, remember the Panda is what goes into the other end. Now, I could have done the aux cord the other way. In the case of the Panda, I definitely want to wire it starting with where the mic is going to go. And then I'm going to go from there. Oh man, I hate the electrical tape to use all that residue. So I'm gonna put the microphone right here, pretty much. So it'll be just sticking out of the cheek pad, just off to the side a little bit, like that. I'm actually gonna go ahead and tape that up. And then from there, I have to basically wind the cable around inside of the helmet until I get to the end of the cable, and then put it back right the same place that the aux cord is. Yeah. All right, there we go. Next up, we are going to test the audio on the GoPro without even having the helmet on to see what we get. So I believe I have a decent chunk of battery left, and I definitely have a lot of recording space left right now. So all I have to do to make sure everything's working is hook the GoPro up to the media mod, get some input into the cardio on the chat channel. We're getting very close here.
After you've got some footage to work with using this setup, you're going to need to open up Premiere. You've got a problem with your clip, which I've got a test clip right here, and you can actually see the problem pretty clearly, which is that you get one, in particular in this case, it's the output from the Cardo going to the right channel, and then you've got your microphone going to the left channel here, which would be fine, except now you've got stuff stuck in one ear or the other, so we need to convert it to a mono signal. And then on top of that, you can see here the waveforms. Because the purple Panda or the lavalier microphone is not powered, it gives a way weaker signal into the GoPro. It's still picked up just fine, but anything coming out of the Cardo, which is powered, is going to be significantly louder. So those are the two things we have to fix. And to fix them, you cannot use the clip in the timeline, or actually, I believe you can and have Premiere apply to it, but you're better off not having the clip in the timeline at all. And just so you can hear the difference really quick, hopefully I don't get copy striked for this, I totally stole whatever my wife was listening to on Spotify and just hit play on my phone. So we're gonna get some Savage Garden here for just a second.
This is me testing the microphone.
So you can hear me saying them testing the microphone, and if you're listening on headphones or you have speakers set up that are capable of stereo, aka most speakers, you just heard my voice coming out of your left and the Cardo coming out of the right, and we need to make sure they're both coming out of both, and then we can adjust the volume. So I'm gonna go ahead and delete this clip from my timeline here. If you're not very familiar with Premiere, I recommend you take some time to learn how to use it first, but then I've got the clips over here, and here's my GoPro test clip. So I'm just gonna right click on that, and I've got to go to Modify, Audio Channels. Once I open up that I want to modify my audio channels in here, I just need to swap from using stereo to mono, and I need to tell Premiere that I want to have two clips. And then you're just going to make sure that clip 1 is going to the left, or it's sourcing its first clip from the left and it's sourcing its second clip from the right. And then you're just going to hit OK. And that is going to dupe this audio across two tracks. So actually now you can see here in my timeline, now that I've added it back in, you can see on A1 I have the left channel, and on A2 I have the right channel. That have been split. Now we still have the problem of the audio being way too loud.
This is me testing.
But all you got to do to fix that is drag that down and drag this up.
Alright, this is me testing the microphone as I would be right up against it, talking in a pretty
And now you can hear it coming out of both ears or both speakers, and you're able to quite easily mix the volume levels using your preferred method in Premiere. So with that, the wiring setup is done on the helmet, and I can't wait to get using it.
And we're done. You've just come from watching how to fix the audio in Adobe Premiere, and I've got a fully decked out helmet now. A lot of advantages to this thing. We can record video, we can record ourselves talking over the video, and we can record our companions on group rides with good quality and comfort. The only other solution I've seen, or the most common other solution I've seen to this problem, is to take a small lavalier microphone and tape it up against the speaker inside your helmet, which is both uncomfortable and has poor audio quality. So if this helps you out, and I sincerely hope it did, please leave a like and don't forget to subscribe. We're on our way to that 100 subscriber goal, and we're making good headway. So I really appreciate you guys. Thanks for watching, and have a good one. Hey, this is a Rider for Ransom. That sounds way too much like Revzilla.